You mighty iron horse pull.
Making full pulls twice on the 1908 Sea Cab and on his Kodiak Express.
That's right. Now we're looking here at LD Nation. LD got a very, very good looking truck. He's hoping to have a good pull.
It's the Boot Hill delivery from LD Nation out of Pleasanton, Kansas. And here we go on the full pull pull-off. Gets up to the judge and he will be hooked in. And you will see that he will advance a couple of feet to tighten up the slack on the chain, and then he'll be pulling.
Okay, there he goes. Hopefully he's going to have a good hook.
And it doesn't look like he's going to have it on this, the first pull-off. And we'll get the score 243 and 45, and of course they have added a couple thousand pounds, I would imagine, on the judge.
That's right. Looks like they made it a little heavier. It's going to be a lot tougher for these guys to make a good pull now.
And there's the Boot Hill delivery making off to the pit area as we move along to the Sundance Kid. And there are a bunch of kids having a great time here in Morris, Manitoba.
Yeah. It's also nice to mention that this, when it gets to this point in the pull-off, now it becomes not just horsepower, now it becomes driver's skill.
Ray Carpenter and the Sundance Kid, everything being lowered into place, and he's ready to pull. And the Sundance Kid out of Davenport, Iowa, with Ray Carpenter aboard, and here he goes up towards the judge, and he'll get hooked up.
Ray Carpenter out of Davenport, Iowa. Like I said before, he owns and operates Bounty Hunter. 1985 Peterbilt semi-tractor pulling vehicle, 20,000-pound pulling vehicle. Something else to see.
Okay, here we go with the Sundance Kid, Ray Carpenter aboard. This time out, Ray Carpenter 240.05 on the pull-off. As we see the judge back into place, and boy, oh boy, Ray Carpenter, he really wanted to have a good run. You can see it at the beginning of the pull, but you can see by the look on his face, he is not happy with that pull. Let's take another look.
The wind's been blowing quite a bit today, and so it's dried the track out. Therefore, the moisture didn't come to the top, and had that a wind not blew, and we'd have guessed a little better, would have been a little better off. I think we'd have put her up in the first spot. Performed well, and my crew chief, Pat Connor, did a fabulous job today, so I got no gripes, I guess.
Old Mother Nature, most likely his only gripe, drying up that track with the wind here in Morris, Manitoba. John Potts out of Green Bay, Wisconsin now on the Excalibur King, another full puller, and we're here at the pull-offs on the two-wheel drive vehicles, and here we go with John Potts. Excalibur King, 256.31. That gives him first place for the time being. And let's take another look at that, Ron.
He's got a lot of horsepower here. He's carrying the front wheels about 6-7 inches off the ground. You got to remember, these big alcohol-burning supercharged Harry's Hemis are putting out about anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 horsepower. And you can see it's making a lot of power, and he's using every bit of it right now.
That's right, shaking, rattling, and rolling here in Morris, Manitoba. Everybody enjoying the spectacle of the Moosehead Grand National Truck and Tractor Pull. Big Jim Brockman out of New Haven, Indiana now, his 1908 Sea Cab, and what a beautiful-looking machine. Here we go, it's 256, the distance to beat. For Jim Brockman on his 1908 Sea Cab, 239 and 50. As you see Stan Burton, our safety inspector, in there, picking up one of the belts, flying off Jim Brockman's machine. Jimmy, having some problems out there. What went wrong?
We had a blower belt starting to shred. All them little fuzzy pieces that you saw coming off the front of the engine, that was the blower belt. and apparently it worked its way and caught itself on a guard and just started to shred and eventually went away and stopped the motor.
But Big Jim will be back on his Kodiak Express in a little while. Right now, though, Desperado and Jim Carter, Ron, he had some problems earlier with his axle.
Yeah, he broke his kingpin earlier in another run, and I hope they stay together. Maybe he'll get a good hook this time.
And it doesn't appear that Jim Carter and Desperado is going to cut it on this pole. 2:11 and 10, short of the mark in the pull-off here on our two-wheel drive pull-off. As you see the judge wait heading back to the front of the truck. Jim Carter has been eliminated, and we move along now to Jim Brockman. He's back this time on the Kodiak Express. Brockman out of New Haven, Indiana. Had problems with his C-tab earlier. Let's see what he can do now on the Kodiak. Does he have it? Yes, 267 and 64. Ron, a beautiful pole.
Sure was. He's got it right up there. He seems to have the weight transfer right on the money. He's going in. He's gonna make the money now. He's up there.
Jim Brockman on Kodiak Express, your current leader in our two-wheel drive pull-off. And he is certainly in the driver's seat with one puller to go, and that is Don Sherwin out of Brandon, Manitoba, on the Diggin' Dakota. Don knows he needs at least 267 to win the two-wheel drive pull-off. Jim Brockman, your current leader. A full pull certainly would be a favorable result, but he just wants to beat Brockman. Pulling off center out of Brandon on the Diggin' Dakota, 241 and 20, and that is not good enough. And let's see where he went wrong, Ron.
Well, as you can see, he was really braking hard here. He didn't have a good hook, caught a rut. Like we say, if you're braking, you're not making, and that's just the way it goes.
And here's your two-wheel drive winner, Jim Brockman.
Track is a little bit loose. We're running a lot more weight, taking it off of the front end and moving it to the back end to get a little better traction out of the hole and all the way down the track, and I think that's the secret of winning here today.
Okay, Jim Brockman on the Kodiak Express, 267 and 64. John Potts in second. LD Nation in third place. Coming up next at the Grand National Truck and Tractor Pull, it's the Super Stock Tractors. Super Stock Tractors, the big machines are on their way, rolling into the area, and we've got some great exciting pulling coming up. The Country Dude is getting set. Look at that beautiful paint job, Ron. How much of an investment would these racers have to invest in these machines?
Well, I'd say most of those tractors up where it's around maybe $25,000, $30,000 U.S. to purchase just off the lot. You can look at probably another $35,000 on top of that.
9,500-pound Super Stock Tractors. Look at the wheels on these machines. It's Kevin Lynn with Notorious out of Unity, Wisconsin. Getting some last-minute instructions from the pit crew, and there's Kevin Lynn.
Kevin's basically a rookie at this right now, but for a rookie, he's really impressive.
You're going to see a big waft of black diesel smoke coming off the exhaust pipe going straight up in the air on these machines. And a tough break for Kevin Lynn there, Ron. He doesn't appear to have the horsepower. 176 and 31.
No, it didn't look like a good pull at all. He didn't have that manifold boost pressure up there on those turbo systems. They're very finicky. I mean, that boost has got to be up there. They just don't run.
You're looking at the Barnstormer, Jerry Hart out of Dayton, Ohio. And boy, oh boy, he's got some ground to cover with the bad pull. He's got an open field now to set a qualifying mark here with the 9,500-pound Super Stocks.
Jerry's a very tough puller. He's got to be one of the best in the nation right now in this weight division.
Jerry Hart on the Barnstormer, a full pull. He's going to put his brakes on there, Ron.
That's right. Look out, Katie, by the door. He was out the back door like there was nothing there. And just look at the smoke coming up on these things. These things are rolling volcanoes. We're talking about horsepower, ground-pounding, shaking horsepower. It's just unreal how much horsepower they can get out of a diesel engine.
And the crowd here at Morris going crazy over that beautiful pull by Jerry Hart. Moving along to the workhorse, this Rob Russell out of Prescott, Iowa. He's got his work cut out for him now. Full pull from Jerry Hart as he backs up towards the judge. There's Rob Russell.
Rob Russell's out of Prescott, Iowa. He's a young driver. He's single. Those girls out there in the crowd like these super stock drivers. And I'll tell you, this guy puts on one heck of an impressive show.
Too bad, but not good enough. 291.20, and he won't beat Jerry Hart.
No, he won't come close to Jerry Hart. He didn't have the ground. He didn't have the weight count. Look at the real speed he had on that machine.
Dennis Sprayback out of Lawrence, Iowa on the Imposter now, and boy, oh boy, he's got to make a full pull to stay in this one, Ron.
Boy, Joe, he's got his work cut out for him. Every time he's got to beat Jerry Hart. That's really one pass. He's going to probably take the lower gear and maybe reduce the wheel speed a little bit because the track is starting to go away on him.
Yes, sir, Bob Dennis Sprayback, a full pull, 2 pullers down the distance.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't think he was going to take a high gear. He didn't. He had that wheel speed under control, picked up the front end, had the weight transfer just where he wanted it, and he had that boost pressure right up there. He just got pouring out of it.
Dennis Sprayback and Jerry Hart, the 2 full pullers on our super stock tractors. And there's his guide, Dennis, as he takes off towards the pit area.
He's definitely going to have his work cut out for him now as he goes against Jerry Hart and pull off.
And there goes Dennis Sprayback, and now here's Craig Peterson, Minneapolis, Moline out of Walton, Wisconsin.
I tell you, Craig Peterson's one of the gentlemen who only runs probably one of the few alcohol-burning super stock. Same deal as the diesel burners, but he runs an alcohol. So you won't see a big cloud of smoke come out of this one. Very quiet.
All right, here we go. Craig Peterson on the Minneapolis Moline is crawling down the track. A disappointing finish, 147 and 70. Didn't appear to have anything going on that pull.
No, nothing at all. It seems like he didn't have the atmosphere figured out properly and didn't get him started.
Brett Berg now, the Never Enough out of Farmington, Minnesota. Why Never Enough?
Brett's one of those guys who's always telling you, I never got enough, never get enough. And he says, you know, he's just like that. You know, he'll never have too much.
He's given it his all, but it is not enough. 275 and 50 for Never Enough, and Brett Berg didn't have enough there, Ron.
No, it seemed like he couldn't get enough to make that pull off. He's just going to have to put it up on the trailer and then try it again next time.
Well, fans, we have a pull-off. Dennis Sprayback and Jerry Hart. Brett Berg now pulling out of the pulling area. He was just shy of that full pull, 25 feet shy. That is never enough, and it was not enough.
No, that's right. He couldn't have got enough on that one. He just didn't have his weight transfer set up properly. It just didn't come together for him.
Folks, we're having a pull-off. Dennis Sprayback and Jerry Hart. Jerry Hart on the Barnstormer, and Dennis Sprayback on the Imposter. You see him now out of Lawrence, Iowa.
I wonder if Dennis figures he's got the track figured out and will probably stay with that lower gear as he went with the first run when he pulled through. Let's see if he does it again.
Yeah, no problem on that first pull. Well, let's see if the engine has still got enough in it to pick it out again.
He looks ready enough. See if he's going to get going here. There goes the smoke.
tractor. Dennis Brayback aboard. A pretty good pull, about 276. For Ron, it doesn't matter because we received word that Jerry Hart has forfeited his pull, and your super stock tractor winner will be Dennis Brayback.
Out of the pit area right now, word is that Jerry Hart will be coming back. Seems he had a turbo failure, and that's all he can do.
So by default, Dennis Brayback, your winner of the 95-pound super stock tractor is Rob Russell and Brent Berg, your second and third place finishers. And as we see the other results, here is a word from Dennis Brayback, your winner of the 9,500-pounders.
It's real good tractors, real good competition. We're short on numbers from usual, but all the top tractors are here. Well, everything just works as our data kid.
It certainly is here, Kay. There's Norbert Riddell from Molson Breweries and Ray Bradley on the extreme left, the sales manager for Molson Manitoba Breweries, presenting Dennis Brayback with his championship trophy with the 9,500-pound super stock tractors. Here he is, back on his rig and driving off into the sunset. Dennis Brayback. £100 super modified tractors. Dennis Christensen on the Pack Rat 2, racing out of Glencoe, Minnesota. Ron, what's the big distinguishing feature on these machines?
Well, unlike the super stock, these machines run a multiple configuration of engines. You know, they're not diesel burning. These are alcohol supercharged bunny car engines, basically. Dennis is running 3 497 cubic inch Chevrolets here on this particular tractor right now.
And the Pack Rat 2 getting set to rumble. Into the track here in Morris, 263 and 52. Is that a good pull for a first pull here, Ron?
Well, he's a designated first puller, so he's either going to take that pull or he's going to reject it and probably go back 6 spots. But I think he's going to keep it. He had good tire speed, seemed to have good weight transfer. He had the weights right up the front and everything where he wanted them. It just didn't work out for him.
Okay, Dennis Christensen driving off into the pit area. That was the Pack Rat 2. And now you're looking at the Persuader, Troy Warshkow from Iowa Falls, Iowa. And 262 the distance to beat.
Yeah, Troy Warshkow is running a D12 Allison engine. What they used to use in the Army aircraft, the T-51 Mustangs during the Second World War. A few modifications since then, but let me tell you, those things put out a lot of horsepower. They don't run about the same RPM as your regular V8 engine. They run a couple thousand RPM less. They still produce a lot of wheel speed. We're expecting to see quite a bit out of this tractor right now.
Good pull indeed. He comes to a stuttering stop. 181 flat for Troy Warshkow on the Persuader. And he had his problems right from the opening pull. And see what went wrong, Troy?
My motor just isn't coming to life for some reason. I got you can see two dead cylinders puking straight alcohol, pure alcohol out. It just wasn't firing right. Usually I should be able to, the front end was glued to the track. Should be able to pick the front end up and fly, and it just wasn't not performing right. I don't know if the air is different up here in Canada than what we're used to down in the States or what it is, but it wasn't right.
Well, you got to blame something. Why not blame the... Hey, what the heck is this? Ron, a big, huge monster of a machine.
It's Tim Engler out of Princeton, Indiana. This is the big machine. This is the one that all other Grand National pullers fear the worst. 7 engines of raw power.
Our pulling tractor is actually completely handmade. It's made out of a 4130 chrome ollie tubing frame. It's all chrome ollie tubing like you'd see in a race car chassis. The tractor has a 38,000-pound Rockwell planetary rear end with outboard Franklin planetaries, and the planetary is so that you won't break the center section of the rear end. It's to take the load off the center section. The tractor itself consists of 7 blown Chevrolet big block Chevrolet motors such as a 454 type block. It is, all the motors are fuel injected and supercharged with 871 blowers. And the tractor right now, it can be ran with 2 motors in the 5,000-pound class, 4 or 5 motors in the 7,000-pound class, 7 motors in the 9,000-pound class, and also 7 motors in the unlimited class. So actually the tractor is fairly compatible to run in any class. It's one of the few tractors that will actually run in every class of tractor pulling. It's the only tractor with 7 motors in the world, I think, today, but there's a lot of other tractors that have like 5 or 6 motors on them, which have a lot of the tractors, such as what we ran last year, the 5 Arius engines, which produce quite a few more horsepower than what the Chevrolet motors do today. So there's really probably 10 tractors in the United States and the country, you know, today that would have equal horsepower to what we have or very close to it that would be in its class. So actually there's about 10 to 12 vehicles in the country that are capable of winning a Grand National pull.
Folks, take a listen to this engine. Mr. Engler to give the crowd what they want, a full pull. Can he do it, Ron?
Yeah, he can. I'll tell you one thing, though. When he comes to a tractor pull, all the other tractor pullers know they got their hands full.
And they're feeling the thunder back in Winnipeg. No problem for Tim Engler, a full pull.
That's right. The crowd's going crazy. That pull alone was worth the price of admission right there.
Tim Engler rolling right down the track. The guy needs a parachute to stop this machine. Look at the dust flying. Tim Engler on Mission Impossible. And as he takes off his helmet, he acknowledges the crowd and the great support and ovation that they gave him. Tim Engler, Mission Impossible, he will be the one to beat.
You know, Joe, I'm serious. I thought he was going back to Princeton, Indiana.
Tim Engler, I guess just another day at the track for the owner of Mission Impossible. Those 7 engines, full power, full action here in Morris.
You also got to mention that Tim Engler was the first man last year to capture 4 Grand National titles in 4 different weight categories.
Okay, it's Richard Ziegler now from Madison, Wisconsin on his modified tractor. And we've got, I'm telling you, some big shoes to fill with that fantastic pull from Tim Engler. The ground is still shaking here in Morris. Let's see if Richard Ziegler can make a dance in things.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Richard's the kind of guy, he can do it. If he can get the right horse, the right traction down on the ground, and get that weight transfer on there the way he wants it, he can do it.
Equal to the task, a full pull in the alcohol burning off the front of that engine.
You know, Joe, get up some marshmallows there. We could have ourselves a real marshmallow roast. But I don't think Richard's coming back, because I noticed at the beginning of the pull, he was pulling on that stick real hard just to get the tractor in gear. I think he's got some problems.
All right, let's see what Richard has to say about this. Will he be back?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to make any more runs tonight. Yeah, I couldn't hardly get it in gear down there in the end on the starting line. So I don't know. It's not very good.
That's not much for Richard Ziegler. Let's hope he will be back. We got Bob Scheidecker, the one now from Minnesota, and the Pistons back in Mama. And look at our cameraman, Grant, getting up close and personal to Bob Scheidecker in that beautiful machine. Having problems with the stick, though, Ron.
Yeah, looks like he's having the same problem Richard Ziegler is having with getting the tractor, the transmission into gear. Looks like he's got it now. Yeah, he's got it all hooked up and he's ready to go.
The Piston back in Mama with Bob Scheidecker aboard. We're about ready to rumble here in Morris. The Moosehead Grand National Truck and Tractor Pull, and we're into the super modified tractors.
He's got tremendous wheel speed coming off that tractor right now. It's amazing. He's got her hooked up. Maybe he's going to have a good pull, even though he's got a small engine.
Bob Scheidecker will come up short, 2:37 and 14. Ron, can you get too much wheel spin off the starting line?
Well, Well, they say too much wheel spin is a bad thing when you get not enough, but in the case here with Bob is he's running a tractor that normally runs in 7,200-pound class, and he's running in 9,200-pound class. Hey, maybe he's just a little out fast.
Okay, there's Bob Scheidecker and the piston packing mama. He will drive away into the pits. The alcohol burning off the engine. And we have the High Plains Drifter coming up next. That is Larry Suba out of Wauwatosa, Minnesota.
Here, Joe, again, we got another, what we call a 7,200 mod, pulling in the 9,200 mod class. He may be a little outpowered, but he's going to give it a good run. Let's see how he can do.
High Plains Drifter has his work cut out for him now, Larry Silva. And, of course, he is battling up against Tim Engler on Mission Impossible. Engler has the full pull, and Larry Silva certainly has his work cut out for him. Our cameraman again in position, nice and close to the action. Here we go! Up and down, and a distance of 220 and 30, Ron.
That just looks like maybe Larry didn't have his weight hooked up the way he wanted, so he didn't get a good pull out of it.
Larry Silva goes back to the pits, and we see Wayne Longnecker out of Iowa on the River Rat, and he is the big crowd favorite.
That's right, Wayne's out of Iowa, and he's what you'd call the grandfather of the D12 Allison pulling it. He must have 50 or 60 of them sitting at home anyways, and he builds and repairs them for other pullers as well.
He is intense. He needs a full pull to beat Tim Engler. The crowd getting set and poised, and here we go. Amazing wheel speed from Wayne Longnecker. No problem at all. It is a full pull.
It's amazing. The wheel speed he had on that tractor, he had the right gear. He sure knew where he wanted to go.
Tim Engler now and Wayne Longnecker tied with a full pull each as we move along to Ron Warsakow. He's out of Iowa Falls, Iowa on the Top Gun, and this is another good-looking machine.
That's right, Ron's out of Iowa Falls, and he's got everything you could possibly imagine in top equipment on this tractor. It's a beautiful looking tractor on top of that, and it can pull.
Ron needing a full pull to stay in contention. Top Gun today. Ron Warsakow out of Iowa on his Top Gun machine, 213 and 20. Won't cut it.
No, he won't. He's just going to go back to the pit, put his machine back up on the trailer, and head back to Iowa.
Folks, we're having another pull-off. Tim Engler, Dick Ziegler, Richard Ziegler, Wayne Longnecker. Full pulls each, and we have our other finishers here on our 9,200-pound Super Modified. Oh, we just received word that Richard Ziegler out of Madison, Wisconsin, he has forfeited his pull-off, was not able to answer the bell. So it's going to be Mission Impossible and the River Rat for our pull-off. Tim Engler up first on Mission Impossible. 7 motor engines raring to go. Slowing down, Ron. It's a big problem for Tim Engler.
Well, Joe, it looks like he picked up maybe the wrong gear, and you heard him get up and down on the throttle, and then he just shut it right down. He probably had the wrong gear, got too much wheel speed, just decided, heck, I'm going to save these engines instead of blowing them.
164 and 8, a disappointing result. That means the River Rat and Wayne Longnecker only needs a 164 to win it all. He shuts her down after the 164. Wayne Longnecker, your winner.
You know, it's pretty hard to win a Grand National Pool when all the good tractors are here, and anytime you win, no matter how you do it, you got to feel pretty good.
Your winner, Wayne Longnecker, steps back into his River Rat, acknowledging the crowd, and Ron and I will be right back. Wheel drive trucks. Your winner, Ed Wandler out of Brock, Saskatchewan. The two-wheel drive trucks on Kodiak with Jim Brockman aboard out of New Haven, Indiana. The super stock tractors, the imposter Dennis Grayback out of Lawrence, Iowa. And finally, on the super modified tractors, the River Rat Wayne Longnecker. We've had a great day of pulling here, Ron. Beautiful day. Couldn't ask for anything better. That's right. It was a great time. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll see you all here next year. And on behalf of Ron Carrier and the entire crew, this is Joe Cahill saying so long from Boris, Manitoba.